President Trump, you have not met the simple request that you agreed to. You must once again do as the Gypsy Queen Rosella tells you.
Donald Trump, I've again muted you and fixed you to your chair so that you must listen. We are putting you on trial again for abandoning human civilization.
You may recall that Puka has the gift, however she got it, of telling where the dead are and of summoning them in times of need.
Now I call the great psychotherapist Sigmund Freud as expert witness.
I will show time clips from the patient and explain what they mean.
Nobody's ever been more successful than me. I'm the least racist person, too. There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
These statements indicate a grandiose delusional disorder. His birtherism claims against the previous president and failure to denounce white supremacists don't support this.
I've got the best temperament. And I know what women like.
He will say or do anything for self-aggrandizement. He is abusive of others, displays unbridled hedonism, self-indulgence, pleasure-seeking, and self-gratification.
I've got an easy solution for every problem. I comprehend very well, better than I think almost anybody. Build a wall, cut taxes, stir up the Middle East, throw out the immigrants, and trade wars are easy to win.
Mental incapacity. He does not have empathy or a rough sense of right or wrong. He doesn't deal in facts.
I'm good at war. I know more about ISIS than the generals. Nobody's bigger or better at the military than I am. And come on, little rocket man, I too have a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger and more powerful one.
With these statements, we are looking at the prospect of dangerousness more than mental illness.
Did I mention I ran the Miss Universe pageants, WrestleMania, and The Apprentice, and my inauguration crowd was the largest ever?
A comical obsession with size. Some call these Freudian slips.
Hey, I avoid paying taxes, and that makes me smart. Want to avoid paying anyone? Try bankruptcy. I've done it many times.
Interest only in personal gain. Mr. Trump likely has daddy issues and lack of compassion.
My enemies think they're elite. Ha! I went to better schools than they did. In fact, I was a better student than they were. And I live in the White House, which is really great. You should see Mar-a-Lago.
Many people are unaware of the dangers of narcissism, condescension, exaggeration, lying, fragile self-esteem, us versus them rhetoric this man projects on people he disagrees with.
Anyway, I gave up reading in favor of TV and the internet. I don't trust books or science or history or inconvenient facts. It's those judges and the media and the government and the liberals. They're the real enemy.
Insecurities. Openly hostile to free press and democracy. Cognitive impairment. He cannot grasp public good. Only his base and their grievances. A jealous man.
I have no curiosity about that Russian thing. I like Vladimir. Now there's someone who knows real estate, a real authoritarian. And Fox News, they bring out my real conspiracy passions. I have visions of nuclear war, terrorism, the government taking my guns, and tomato throwers. You know, if you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously, okay? Just knock the hell out of them. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise. I promise.
Tyranny is a triumph of narcissism. Consider his admiration of brutal dictators and his circle of family members sitting at his leadership table.
Hatred and prejudice are things we share with millions of Americans. They'll believe anything, and the whole country can't be declared unfit.
He is freezing healing and promoting crisis. This creates a malignant normality. He is creating a collective American malignant psyche. The whole country can't be declared unfit, but he should. I assert that the statements of Trump support my determination that 1. He suffers from narcissistic personality disorder. 2. He has a grandiose sense of self-importance, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, or brilliance. He believes that he is special and unique. He obviously requires excessive admiration. 3. Is interpersonally exploitive, i.e., takes advantage of others to achieve his own ends, lacks empathy, being unwilling or unable to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. He shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. 4. Further, he suffers from histrionic personality disorder. He has had interactions with others that are often characterized by inappropriate, sexually seductive, or provocative behavior. He displays rapidly shifting and shallow expressions of emotions. 5. He has a style of speech that shows self-dramatization, theatricality, and exaggerated expression of emotion. 6. He is suggestible and easily influenced by others or circumstances. 7. Finally, he falls on the extreme spectrum of narcissism, which is malignant narcissism, meaning he is the least likely to reform his anti-democratic behavior. This is my diagnosis of this man.
I call from beyond the 4 greatest presidents.
Mount Rushmore presidents? What say you?
He calls the media his enemy. In this, it is clear who is the enemy. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. This man is an impostor as an American patriot, and especially for his appearances of collusion with a hostile government. It is far better to be alone than to be in bad company.
The whole of government consists in the art of being honest. I hope we shall crush in its birth the aristocracy of our moneyed corporations which dare already to challenge our government to a trial by strength and bid defiance to the laws of our country. I sincerely believe that banking establishments are more dangerous than standing armies, and that the principle of spending money to be paid by posterity under the name of funding is but swindling on a large scale. The earth belongs to the living and not to the dead. This man is an aristocrat in populist clothing.
A great democracy must be progressive, or it will soon cease to be a great democracy. No man is above the law, and no man is below it. nor do we ask any man's permission when we require him to obey it. Obedience of the law is demanded, not asked as a favor. Character, in the long run, is the decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike.
A house divided against itself cannot stand. Accustomed to trample on the rights of others, you have lost the genius of your own independence and become the fit subjects of the first cunning tyrant who rises among you. This wall and this creeping racism is wrong. To sin by silence when they should protest makes cowards of men. The GOP must cut their ties with this know-nothing show business man.
Founding Fathers, please give us the basic requirements to serve as President of the United States.
Ability to separate fact from fiction. Be able and willing to learn about issues. Apply coherent decision-making to fact.
Be consistent without vacillating or flip-flopping with statements made. Comprehend likely results from saying certain things or taking certain actions. Ability to differentiate between acceptable decisions and horrendous decisions.
Make agreements and keep those agreements. Learn about and conduct foreign policy on behalf of the United States. Deal reasonably and effectively with other people.
Not be delusional. Understand basic democratic principles, including the importance of a free and fair elections, and the importance of not claiming an election is rigged before it has occurred. Also, to refrain from the undemocratic nature of intending to jail election rivals.
Now, the great Westerner, Buffalo Bill. What do you think, Bill?
Trump, how did you buffalo your way into office? You can't meet even one of the Mount Rushmore's president's requirements to be chief executive.
Thank you. I call upon the American citizens to share your views about the fitness of this man to serve as president.
I'm someone who puts their life on the line for the law every day. So I'm somewhat bitter when I hear that your campaign is being investigated for colluding with a foreign government to swing the election in your favor. That sounds illegal.
I'm disgusted and angry inside because you had your lawyer pay $130,000 in hush money to a porn star, and even more to other women with whom you've had affairs.
Judging by the number of lawsuits you've been involved in, you seem to be a lawless and defiant president, Your Honor. And to me, each new day makes your presidency look more like an effort to tear the country apart.
We're with you, Captain Don. We love your obvious disruptions and deceptions. We're conservative businessmen too, you know. We're opportunists, and we make money plays work best when there's disruption.
Yeah, we like confusion, obstructionism, and fear.
That's when society falls apart, and they don't have time to catch up.
Bring on the ugliness.
I feel our country is threatened when I hear you tell crowds that the press is the enemy of the people, or fake news, or a failing institution. You have said it's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write. Did you not take civics in school? The press is the fourth estate. It's a sacred check on power and our only hope for truth.
You say a female senator of the opposing party would do anything for your campaign donations. What is that supposed to mean? Your multiple sexual assault charges over the years have been marked with every form of bullying there is. You question the authenticity of a recording of you bragging about sexual assault, even though you previously admitted it was real. People, why are you defending this guy?
Why do you ridicule our NATO partners? It makes us come across as a sour and disrespectful country.
I'm embarrassed that we have a president who watches 4 to 8 hours a day of cable TV anyway. and so thin-skinned, you mostly watch the channel that feeds your self-serving propaganda. You threaten to take away a TV network's broadcast license for reporting the truth about you. You naughty boy.
Talk about witch hunts. I know a witch when I see one. You are pure pandemonium. You fly around the globe on useless, destructive missions. You promote fear about immigration, minorities, China. You spend 1/3 of the first year of your taxpayer-funded presidency visiting your own golf courses and properties. Controversy after controversy. I ought to put a spell on you.
You call the American justice system a joke and a laughingstock, but then you claim that you have the absolute right to do what you want to do with the Justice Department. No one is above the law. You say the FBI's reputation is in tatters and accuse FBI agents of treason without offering any evidence. All the while, your former advisors and campaign managers are being convicted on money laundering and other federal charges. Those are big-time crimes. I smell a skunk.
Thank you, American citizens. Donald the Trump, I find you guilty. As your punishment, I change you into a duck permanently.
Quack, quack. Quack.
I told you I would if you failed to follow my 3 simple directives. And Vice President Pence, you're next.